Hello, welcome to the 46th episode of my podcast, Open Conversations. I'm your host, Young Bella, and today going to be talking about a slew of topics. Got some MVP conversation talks, top of the East and Western Conference, my picks, etc. Just various little different topics. Obviously, March Madness got my school team. Michigan State Spartans. We are in there, and so yeah. Without further ado, get right into it. Uh, Bronny James. Um, um, it's been a lot of just this whole season, just the attention, quote unquote, uh, around Bronny James. A lot of just more so just negative, in my personal opinion, from the media. Um, a lot of media personalities and just people in general, saying he's in the NBA because of politics and nepotism, and he's not good enough, and he's not, you know, capable of playing in the NBA. And I've seen him since his days at Sierra Canyon, and I just him, also this LeBron James son, debatably greatest basketball player ever. In my personal opinion, he's LeBron's. I put LeBron at number two all time. But Bronny James could always play the game. He's just this is a guy whose father is a savant of the game, so he has the IQ to play. He's an athletic. He has athleticism. He has the want to to get better, to put in the work. So to me, that's the formula for success. Regardless of whether you want to say he becomes an all-star or role player, seventh, sixth to eighth guy off the bench or whatever. I think that he has the recipes of success. Um, I did think that him maybe staying in college a little bit longer could have helped him in terms of his development, his game, and things of that nature. But he could play. I've always been from the get go like this. He can play. He can play at this level. He can play, and so it's good to see a lot of in recent time the fruits of his labor. Showing him having some good showings in the G League. They sent him out the G League, scored 30, had some other good games, and then last night against the Milwaukee Bucks, one of the better teams in the Eastern Conference, 17 points, had about 3 assists or so. The kid can play. You know what I'm saying? He's shown me the fact that time, again that he can play at this level. Um, I just think it's again, you know, a lot of just in my personal opinion, a lot of envy, jealousy. LeBron being the first NBA to have play this long, to be as great of a player he is. He's in his 22nd season, still breaking records. Doing unprecedented things, and I think a lot of people are just envious of that, in my personal opinion. And that's where the negative energy has been going as it pertains to Bronny James, and they're trying to attack his son now and things of that nature. Stephen, obviously situation that LeBron confronted Stephen A. and all that type stuff. My personal opinion, I do think, because I watch. I'm a fan of Stephen A. I like the Stephen A. Um, do I agree with every opinion of his? No, I don't agree with every opinion of anybody, right? But I did think that there was some times he made some comments that was overly critical. Just my opinion, he was a bit overly critical of Bronny in certain aspects, and I think he could have, I guess, um, I just didn't think it was necessarily warranted. But um, he's shown it. You know what I'm saying? Bronny James has shown, what I'm saying, last night that he can play, that he belongs in the NBA. He just needs the repetitions. This is what I've been saying throughout the year. Just give him the reps, man. Nobody plays perfect. Anytime throughout the media, when they would show Bronny James, they would show him when he makes the mistakes and turns the ball over, to just kind of glorify times when he makes the, you know the bad lights, the low lights. They would showcase that, and you know that's the media has so much power. That's what they do when they're trying to create an image or a narrative about a player, something like that. I don't show last night when he's finishing with just ridiculous finishes, whether it's with the left, the right floater, pull up threes off the screen, off the pick and roll. Like these are NBA pro moves. You know what I'm saying? Showcase that. So I wish Bronny the best. I wish him to continue having success. I think that he's a guy who can play in this league for a long time, um, and be successful. So, well wishes to Bronny. I wish him continued success, man. MVP, SGA, or Jokic. I think you know both players obviously are phenomenal, having hella terrific seasons, playing very well for both of their teams. Um, Jokic is statistically having the greatest season of his career, considering he's a three-time MVP. Right, very deserving of a fourth MVP, with the way he's been playing throughout the year, throughout the season. Um, SGA just completely unguardable, um, doing it in every which way, breaking you down off the dribble, getting to the bucket, finish. Breaking you down the dribble, pull up, finish. Cash. You know, breaking down the dribble, um, a step back, cash. Pull up threes, dunks, free, efficient free throw shooter. He's doing it every which way, getting his teammates involved, being a leader on that, being the leader on that OKC team. Them being the number one team in the West, played majority of the season without, I would say personally their third best player, because I think Jalen Williams is their second best player. Chet's the third best player in my opinion. So playing the majority of the season without the third best player and still number one in the West. So to me, I think SGA deserves the MVP for this season. I think they should give it to SGA. Um, I think that the way that he's been playing, he's doing it with so much efficiency. He's not a high volume, shooter. He's doing it efficiently, doing it just very, um, as it looks effortlessly. Um, and he's just doing it. So I got SGA as my MVP pick. Um, Obviously Jokic is very deserving as well. This could be a year for having, co-MVPs. I wouldn't, obviously I wouldn't necessarily be mad at it or anything like that. I think both is just having tremendous seasons. But if I had to pick one, I'm going with SGA. My top four teams in the NBA Eastern Conference. So currently, um, in order, this is my order, personal order. Um, Boston Celtics is my number one team. I know they're the number two seed, but that's just again my personal, preference. It's my top four teams. Got Boston at number one. Number two, I got the Cleveland Cavaliers. Number three, I got the New York Knicks, and then at number four, I got the Milwaukee Bucks. Um, I just think that granted, yes, the Cleveland Cavaliers have the best record in the East, but just think that the Boston Celtics, you got Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Drew Holiday, um, Kristaps Porzingis, Al Horford, Derek White, Peyton Pritchard, um, defending NBA champions. You know, it's only right to have them at number one. And then, Cleveland, they've been playing very well throughout the year. Donovan Mitchell playing, high level. Darius Garland, they're playing at a very high level. Evan Mobley, um, the addition of DeAndre Hunter, which I think was very good. Ty Jerome, very underrated player. He's very solid. Um, Jared Allen. So you got a really good team in Cleveland. It is gonna be, they definitely gonna be competing. Um, but I got them at number two. Then I got the New York Knicks. Number three, you got, Jalen Brunson balling throughout the year. Cat, that combination probably been debatably the best duo throughout this season, if not top three for sure. Um, you know, Mikal Bridges, Josh Hart, um, OG Anunoby. I think, they got a shot. If they can, things could start clicking for them in the playoff, and they can go on a run. They got us, formidable players. They got a squad. So it's not like, this isn't a team that's capable of just exploding. So, and then lastly, Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis been having a very MVP like season. It's just, Jokic and SGA has just been outperforming, in my opinion, having a great season. Dame Lillard, of course, you know what Dame does, Dame time. Um, Anytime you got them two guys, to me, you're gonna be contending. You pick up Kuzma. I think that was a good pickup for them. Um, you got Kevin Porter, underrated pickup. I like Kevin Porter a lot. So you know, I think that they make for a very formidable team as well. And so yeah, that rounds out my top four. My top four teams in the NBA Western Conference. So I'm gonna go in order. So right now I'm going OKC. Um, they just had such a great chemistry as a team throughout the year. SGA been unguardable throughout the year. Jalen Williams been balling as well. They just got such a good chemistry. It's very, um, very, very, very well. Um, just the camaraderie is good, and you know they've been playing the best in the West, in my opinion, throughout the season. At number two, I got the Denver Nuggets. Jokic, and balling all year. You know, like I said, debatably having his greatest season of the greatest regular season statistically. And then Jamal Murray's been having an underrated, very good year. Russell Westbrook has been very good for this Denver Nuggets team. He really fits the, just the system there. Mike Malone has really crafted a very good, role for Russell Westbrook to be successful and flourish and just be a good fit for this team. And allow Russell Westbrook to be him. I think that's the main thing that Mike Malone has done and with Russell Westbrook, and it's been good for them. He still got Aaron Gordon, and MPJ. So this is a really good team still. Then number 3, I'm going with the LA Lakers. LeBron James, Luka, Austin Reeves been having a hell of a season. LeBron, of course, being LeBron, having a hell of a season as well. Luka's come in, been very well. He's been playing very well. This team got a good set of role players as well. Rui, Jared Vanderbilt, Jackson Hayes, Gabe Vincent, guys that can chip in also and play well for them as well. So I like this Lakers team. JJ Redick has done a great job as the head coach, first-year head coach. Then I don't think a lot of people expected him, this Lakers team to be as good as it's been. And JJ Redick has done very well. So probably one of the leading candidates for Coach of the Year for sure. Then lastly, I gotta go with the Golden State Warriors. Been on a hot streak recently, playing very well. The addition of Jimmy Butler has just given this team a resurgence, in my opinion. Been playing very well, giving a lot of energy. And, obviously you got Steph and, Steph doing his thing, Draymond contributing, get Kuminga, Jonathan Kuminga and Looney, and they've got something going. I really like what they got going with this Golden State team. So yeah, that rounds out my list right now for top 4. Kevin Durant allegedly falling off. So this has been somewhat of a narrative that's going around about Kevin Durant not being as good as he once was, or him falling off, or he being an afterthought or something like that. And I'm here to dispute those claims, man. Kevin Durant is still Kevin Durant. Like, there's been no drop off. Obviously, it's a team sport. You as an individual don't dictate everything on the team in terms of the success of the team, but as an individual player, I just feel like he's been phenomenal. 26.4 points per game, 52% field goal percentage, about 41% from the 3-point, averaging about 4 assists, 6 rebounds. I mean, ain't no fall off for me. I think that the Phoenix organization hasn't quite found the chemistry. I think it's a chemistry thing with that Phoenix team. It's not talent. They got all the talent in the world. You got KD, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, Bo, Tyus Jones. I mean, you got guys who can play. I think it's just a chemistry thing. Them figuring out, a unit that fits. What it is they're trying to do, their identity. You really can't say what's the Phoenix Suns' identity when they're playing. Um, and so I think that that's one of the main things is them figuring out the identity of their team and you know who's the leader and things of that nature. But in terms of Kevin Durant, man, he's been phenomenal in my opinion. He's been phenomenal. You know, can nobody still guard the man? Um, so I just think that it's just again media trying to create narratives and um, still sulky about the Golden State thing and so many different things, and it's like I don't know. A lot of times, when it comes to the media, it's never really basketball related, especially when it comes to Kevin Durant. It's never basketball related stuff. It's like stuff that's not even basketball related that they try to attribute to Kevin Durant and make it seem as if he's, you know, not as good as he is. Because I mean, he's the one guy, man. When you look at Kevin Durant's game, I mean, there's no flaws. There's not anything that um, Kevin Durant can't do on the floor that there's not a shot he can't make on the floor, whatever, even a pass, um, rebound, whatever. Like there's nothing Kevin Durant can't do on the floor, and I just think that people just narrative. The media likes to create narratives and nitpick at Kevin Durant's game, but nah, fall off. Nah, I don't think Kevin Durant. I don't think guys like a Kevin Durant, LeBron, Steph will ever like fall off. I think they're guys. Those are guys who they're not gonna have seasons where they're averaging under 20 plus, or like you're gonna see them and it's gonna be like a complete. Kevin Durant's gonna be averaging 10 points a game. Like that's just never gonna happen. Even 15, like that's just never gonna happen. Like Kevin Durant till I believe his last season in the NBA, if put in position, he could average 25 a night. In his very last year, he can go average. He can be averaging 25 plus, maybe even 30 if you really what I'm saying. If you really wanted to put him in that position, but falling off now. Luka's fit with the Lakers thus far. I think it's been a great fit thus far. He's transitioned relatively smoothly. Um, I think that I think he it was emotional, kind of like the emotional baggage for Luka when he first got to LA, and I think he's starting to get over that and get into that flow state, that game state, and adjusting to this new team and playing with LeBron, Austin Reeves, and things of that nature. So he's figuring it out. He's having some really good games recently. Um, I think they have a good chance of reaching the NBA Finals. I really do. You got LeBron, You know what I mean? LeBron James on the floor. In a series, he can be the best player. You know what I'm saying? He can win you. LeBron himself, when he's on his A game, can win you 2 to 3 games. In a series. Then you add Luka. Luka can do the same thing. He's capable of doing the same thing. Um, so it's when you got Luka and LeBron, you know, in a given series, you got 2 guys who can be the best player on the floor. 2 guys, you know, and I mean they could be the top 2 guys on the floor. I mean, depending on how you want to, match things up with the top 2 guys on every team in the league. I mean, you could definitely say they got the best top 2 guys, top best, top 2 duo of any other team in the league right now. With having, Luka and LeBron. So, and then you got formidable, role players and guys who can do their thing too. Austin Reeves averaging 20 a night. Austin can. I mean, we've seen it even with Luka and LeBron. Like he can go for 30 plus, and you're gonna need that in a playoff series. You're gonna need Austin Reeves to get a 20, 25, 30 plus game. He's due for one of those. Um, Rui come in, step up. Jared Vanderbilt, Gabe Vincent can come in and play, very well. So um, this Lakers team can do some damage, and Lucas fit well. March Madness. So it is March Madness time. They've started the games. Um, this is probably my favorite tournament. Um, I'm just I don't want to make my picks for every game, so I'm just gonna make my final 4 picks, and then when the final 4 comes, well, actually, I'm gonna just do it all today. So I'm gonna just give y'all my final 4 picks and uh, pick who I believe is gonna win. So obviously, I believe coming out of the South Conference or Division, however you want to call it, I got my Michigan State Spartans. We're the 2 seed. I got us coming up that division for the Final Four. We've been playing very well throughout the season. Had some big wins. Freshman Jace Richardson, son of Jason Richardson, been having a hell of a season. Has had some big games throughout the year, and I expect him to continue that. Trey Holloman, Jaden Atkins, and Jeremy Fears. We got some good guards, some bigs, and to me, I think the NCAA is guard driven. So you got really good guard play. You can make some things happen, and I think we have the capability to do it. And then coming out of the West Division, I got a couple kind of was debatable with this one between I think St. John's, Maryland, and Florida, but I've decided to go with St. John's, coached by the legendary Rick Pitino. The resurgence he's had on this program has been great. I think that he's done a hell of a job. They got a good squad of guys. They've been playing very well. Seems like they've gelled well. They're playing good team ball. the players have bought into Rick Pitino's, system and ideology and things of that nature. So I think St. John's can do it. I think they can pull it off. So I got them getting there, and then out the Eastern Division, I got Duke coming out. John Shire's been coaching this squad very well. I'm very like the coaching by him throughout the season. Cooper Flagg, he has definitely, I could say, met my, past my expectations. I was definitely a guy. I'm not gonna lie. I was a bit like, okay, let's, so much hype with him coming into the season, and he's gonna be this, he's gonna be that, and I was just like, okay, let's see. I seen some highlights. I'm like, okay, I know he can play for sure, but is he meeting the expectations that the hype is saying when it comes to him? I was questionable, but I've seen him throughout this year. Man, the kid can ball. Kid can ball. He got a bright future. He's talking about potentially coming back. I'm like, you gotta go to the league, brother. You gotta, you going number one. So, you gotta take that. And he's been playing great. He's had a great year. I mean, he's dominated. He's really dominated as a freshman. And they got some other good players as well. And so I got the Dukies, Blue Devils coming out of that division. And then lastly, out of the Midwest, I got Houston, coached by Kelvin Sampson. Good coach. They play. I think that he's the Houston. They're the number one seed in that conference. I think they will advance, and so that leaves Houston versus Duke, Michigan State versus St. John's. I'm going with my Spartans. I got us beating St. John's. And then I got Duke beating Houston, which leaves Michigan State versus Duke in the national championship. And I'm picking my Spartans. You know what I'm saying? I got to go with my Spartans, man. We going to win that national championship this season. You know what I'm saying? It's only right. 25th anniversary, you know what I'm saying? 25th year since the last time we won the national championship. So, I think that, it's only right. And so I got us winning the national championship this year, and it's going to be great, man. So that's my picks for this year's March Madness. The Ball family. Shout out to the Ball family, man. I'm a big fan of y'all. I've been a big fan of y'all since y'all first, I guess made a public, got, publicly and all that type stuff. We're around with 2017, when, Lonzo, even before that, there was Chino Hills, they was doing their thing or whatever. But shout out to them, man. It's great seeing y'all success as a family. Seeing obviously it's an interracial family. I'm not gonna be the person like, oh, it's just a black family. Nah, the mother is white, and obviously the father is black. But saying a black father, being a great leader, a great father to to some young men, it's very admirable, very inspirational. To me, and I know for many others, seeing them have the success that they have. And I just love LeVar Ball's energy, the confidence he instills in his children, and um, just what he's been doing for the past 8 years, man, phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? LaMelo, one of my favorite players, should have been All-Star, but it is what it is. But he's had a hell of a year. Lonzo finally back from his injury. Jello, been going crazy with the music. How that has popped off for him. It's really dope for him. You know what I'm saying? Things how, God works in mysterious ways that they have a reason. Things didn't quite, work out in terms of, basketball. Still, he could, who knows? Team might give Jello the opportunity or something like that. But it's to see what has transpired with his, music career has been great. Performing at Rolling Loud, the deal with Def Jam and all that is great. I was happy to see that. Happy for him, and wishing them the best, man. I hope they continue balling, keep having the success they having as a family and everything. So yeah, shout out to them, man. Y'all keep doing y'all thing. Y'all keep flourishing. So yeah, that's the end of the episode. And yeah, I know it's been some time. It's been about almost 2 months since the last one, but I'm trying to get back, consistent, just coming up with content, stuff like that. So yeah, until next time, y'all be easy, man.